Alright, fake Sagan-y stuff. It's mostly just going to be a commentary on, you have to, all these people are in the world. These perceptions, the ideas. And this is all some swirl of memes and bullshit that, flies around us. And, I watched Thunderfoot made a video, and he points out how his focus is science, 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 science. So he's only looking at the Trump catastrophe through that, very very narrow glasses, and and obviously his misogynistic crap that he's devoted himself to makes him sort of oblivious to, women are going to be. This isn't a good thing. Just on the body ownership platform itself. I mean, maybe men will start claiming they have a right to force women to have abortions, or they have a right to stop women from having abortions. That actually might be in the realm of possibility now for a court owned by these gorillas. But anyway, but these are mindsets, right? These ways of viewing reality. And you'd say, on its surface, you'd say, yes, science is the way to go. But obviously science hasn't taught Thunderfoot anything about being rational in terms of understanding what it is happening on planet Earth, what human beings are as organisms. I mean, he doesn't seem to know anything about psychology and ethical philosophy. I mean, his ethical philosophy doesn't exist. He doesn't account for there being any significance to outcomes besides whether or not he can get to McDonald's. That's how he decides whether something's a catastrophe or not, is, have I lost so much infrastructure that I can't walk to McDonald's? Something like that. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with how much torture is taking place, kind of a thing. He's not smart enough to say you can do this whole big blue ball thing like it's Carl Sagan thing, right? Like, just imagine what Carl Sagan would be thinking. He's definitely rolled over in his grave, not feeling too well. Another brilliant idea of God is to give people like Carl Sagan cancer. Thank you, God. It's a great idea. But anyway, just that whole blue ball thing, turning, spinning, and just the thinking in terms of, what do you want to know? You want to know the truth. What's the story of these animals that have grown up on this planet over billions of years and now can do this thinking thing? And what are they doing with this thinking thing? Trumpelisms. It's just, and you're saying, well, it's so stupid. Again, I'm going to say, bad on us for not being able to say, come on. There's no way. I can't. There's got to be some way I can draw you a picture of some kind that makes you understand. There's no God making this. I mean, the evidence of evolution is just overwhelming. It's decisive. It's complete. As complete as any imbecile should require. I mean, if it was aliens coming from another planet making an argument about gods, you wouldn't sit there and take it seriously. But this is just some emotional human thing. You're devoted to these manipulations, but they're just manipulations of perception. And they have nothing to do with trying to find what the truth is. Well, anyway, I'm trying to just say there's a bigger picture here than just me saying fake Sagan's an asshole. Because he represents a kind of asshole. And apparently, if you just extrapolate the voting results to the overall population, there's apparently a couple of 100 million of these retards occupying America right now, walking around, fiddling with things, turning knobs and dials, and they don't seem to have any clue where they really are. You know, where they really fit in the universe. They have some bizarre notions they're living by. And again, I would argue that the most bizarre of their notions, like Trump's bizarre notion, is that it's better to lie than talk about the truth. It's better to say something preposterously idiotic like, the Bible's my favorite book, even though I never read it. And compare the Bible to his stupid book, The Art of the Deal, which was basically, here's how to fuck your fellow humans. You make money by fucking people. That's what the book should have been titled. You can make big money fucking. Yeah, you win, they're full of your semen, and you run away. He compared that to the Bible, a book about fucking people, to a book about Jesus. You know, this idea of, first, do no harm almost. First, account for yourself. You know, and then you can judge others. So once you're good with you, you know, once you know, okay, you're not the one going to waste it. Yeah, then you can start. Yeah, once once you've walked out of your glass house of lies and bullshit, and recognize that you're willing to lay yourself on the altar, so to speak. Say yes, gut me if I'm found to be deceptive and a cheater. You know, then you can talk. Well, anyway, that's a whole other subject. So anyway, we're at the part where he says Jesus Christ is the only one who can do this redeeming thing. And again, you know, just the whole notion of what God's redemption is made out of. It's just so shallow. You know, it's not about deeds. No, it's about performing your vows properly. You know, get your little water dousing. Acknowledge your ownership by the Lord. He owns you. You're his property. I mean, it's just a slave ritual. And the anarchist likes the slave ritual.
Because I'm not the redeemer of mankind. I'm just
and certainly your gun isn't. You know, so, I mean, it's just kind of funny. You know, again, a guy using Jesus Christ's name. Okay, so, you know, just the fraudulentness of it. So, again, how are you expecting me to believe that you think Jesus Christ would sanction your gun ownership? They'd say, yeah, I love when you carry it right on your, carry it pridefully right there on your chest, right in the shoulder holster. Yeah, I can feel it. I feel the love that represents. Fuck forgiveness. Just make sure it's a headshot.
Sinner.
So see, that's the funny part too. You say the word sinner and you laugh because it's not really a serious subject, right? Sinning's not a serious subject. Going to hell for eternity, that's not serious. Nobody takes any of this shit seriously. So yeah, it's all a big joke, even to the jokers, right? The people playing you, the people just talking shit because they're the worms, and all they can see is their path to McDonald's. And that's all they're working for, is their path to McDonald's. They have no vision thing in the sense that the world we create, you're going to live in it, okay? You're going to have a different name, you're going to be a different brain, yes. But in a sense, it's a consciousness. And to sit there and defend idiocracy is to say, I want to be an idiot. I want to be a retard in the future. I want to live more retarded lives. So for every smart person, for every Carl Sagan, yes, let's make 20 or 30 retards because they're so much more efficient. It's so much more brilliant to watch them struggle and getting caught in all kinds of vice and get totally humiliated, texting, Sally Big Boob on their fucking phones and shit. It's just so cool. I love when they cheat on each other and fuck each other over. It's just so cool, so wonderful. I just, the splendor of the vision of that world, that beautiful, wonderful world of a bunch of idiots fucking each other over. That's what this lying thing is. The lying thing is just setting us up for a complete failure.
So, I can't buy my way into heaven with bitcoins. I could.
Theoretically, you would think you could, actually. If I was God, yeah, you could. You're going to do a bunch of. You're going to take your your influence in the world and try to maximize it. Well, if I was a God and I could reward you for that, I would. Um, I'd say, yeah, that's the kind of rat I want in the race. Okay, the rat that's doing more good than doing harm. Yeah, giving more than he's taken. Yeah, good rat. But that would be a logical God, right? Not a psychotic lunatic who needs people to kiss his ring and shit.
Help 100 girls. I could help 1,000 girls, and it wouldn't make me any holier.
Right. I just imagine that it would, though. Frankly, I mean, if you don't think it would, I think it would demonstrate that you somehow understand that this is an important thing to do. That you're extra, getting a double Big Mac. Instead, you help somebody with cancer or something, or you help somebody else in trouble. Well, I think that would demonstrate that you have some profound understanding of the stakes and that there's value in the equation, and you are, in a sense, redeemed from any kind of stupid notion that your life is about you. That your life just begins and ends with how happy your one little brain is. And as long as your little brain is happy that it has a nice little path to worm its way through the, and to fuck the other worms over, it can, it can shoot its dioxin out of its little, chicken wings. Chicken wings aren't chicken, right? I don't know.
Okay. Redemption can only come from the grace of God.
Right, and the grace of God is just really has to do with saying, you own me, okay, piss on me with a little bit of water, and as long as I keep saying I'm yours, and if I fail, I'm sorry, and you just keep saying I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, you just keep saying it over and over and over again, constantly, then you're in. And it doesn't matter how many dead bodies are you've tormented to pieces along your way. Somehow you're worth it now, because you lied and said when you weren't really sorry. You just kept saying I'm sorry. But maybe God sees through that, so maybe he's not that big an imbecile.
And really, if you look at what I've done here, from a Christian perspective, it's really not very Christian at all. It's in fact, it was a very unchristian thing to do, and
all right, whatever that means. It was very unchristian to do, because nowhere in Christianity was there any of this healing the sick thing. That wasn't thought of as a good thing. That's why the disciples got the power to heal, was because it was a bad thing. No, that's right, it's a good thing. Yeah, so anyway, continue. Whatever this is, whatever this part, this fake humility thing is just so, ooh, yeah, it's really interesting. I love fake humility.
For me to splash the pot at a charity event and donate really what's more than is within my means to donate, and all the while doing it in a very public way, making videos.
More what's in my means to donate. I don't even know what obviously you've said this is basically your insurance policy against catastrophe. So you've basically just given away the only insurance you have, and otherwise you're penniless and can barely buy bullets.
There's nothing particularly redemptive.
He's supposed to have a family of some kind. I guess I suppose he consulted his family before he made this decision, and just whatever a family is, I don't know. He married some chick with a kid. Does he have his own kid? And this is, hey, look, this is your college fund. Yeah, I just pissed it away. Fuck you.
About that in a theological sense, Christ tells us to. Not to.
Oh yeah, whatever. Christ tells us. You can go through that book, and you're not going to find much in there about what Christ tells you, except you're supposed to be married and you're not supposed to get divorced. I mean, he was really big on that one. for some reason. I mean, I don't know why that was a big one for him, but that was a really big one for him. But back then it was a woman's issue, and so I guess that's, you know, why everybody ignores it now, is because back then it was a woman's issue, right? Because men would marry women, and they get a little old, and they just say, hey, fuck you, bitch. Okay, whatever. Go out into the desert and die. So that was really the reason for it. So obviously we could, as rational people, say, okay, it's really not that big a deal anymore, this whole divorce thing. We got this community property thing, so we got all kinds of protections, so I guess we don't have to have any opposition to this, you know, putting away your wife thing, because it isn't as nearly as consequential as it was back in the day when they didn't let women own anything. That's when this Bible was. I mean, Jesus was walking around in a world where women couldn't own anything. And that was okay with God, right? So your whole religion is premised on some sort of idea that women are there to be your servant because you're just so much cooler and smarter and better. Pathetic. So what, you fixed her vagina so you could fuck her? You know, not for her sake, just to make her fuckable, right? So you can get something out of it. It's a man's issue. Yeah, fix her vagina so a man can properly abuse the woman as the woman's supposed to be abused. She's just something to use. I mean, she's just for jerking off on. That's all the that's the only reason why those bitches exist. God made them to be servants, to do all the dirty work. That's why they have the babies. They're supposed to be slaves. That's God's idea. He thought slavery was cool. Fuck. I mean, you know, there's no point in me making an anti-religion video, right? Fake Sagan has seen them. He's made them himself. And so you're saying to me, again, just play along here, right? We're saying, okay, Fake Sagan is pretending to be honest. This is supposed to be some sort of honest statement, that he's honestly seen the light, that there's some reason. Now, if he wants to tell me he had a vision, okay, this is how a lot of the religious kooks get created. They see a UFO or something and they, holy fuck, there's a God, I saw a UFO, and I was only a little bit stoned and drunk. So there must be a God. Okay, I don't know. Is that it? I don't. What is the catch here? There's got to be. What is the thing, the event that took place that said all of a sudden now I'm going to fuck my intelligence, just fuck being reasonable, and I'm going to go back to the idiocracy. I mean, fuck.
Shout when we give alms, and to not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
Right, so he knows he clearly violated the whole, if you're doing this for redemption, you're certainly not supposed to make a video about it. So yes, the whole bragging about your charity was a big mistake. If you wanted any kind of, you know, you wanted some good guy, you know, stuff out of it. So apparently Fake Sagan is feeling a little bit low, and he needs a little boost. So he did something to boost. You know, I need some boost from the people, apparently.
So, you know, really what I've done here has much more to do with my trademark narcissistic panache.
Right, narcissistic panache. So yeah, he has a trademark narcissistic panache. I mean, is that something anybody really wants to sit there? That's another thing. I mean, just like, you know, bragging about your broken vagina doesn't seem like a great idea. I don't know about narcissistic panache either. I don't think I want to sit there and, you know, spread my ass cheeks and just say, hey, look at my narcissistic panache. I don't think I want to do that. I mean, as a talking point of my reason to like me, or a reason to watch me, or reason to listen to me. It's okay to have narcissistic panache, but you do that on the narcissistic panache channel. You don't do that on the channel where you're talking about Jesus being a meaningful character in human history. For fuck's sake.
You know, and what it really has to do with is for me to get a sense of victory and be able to look back.
A sense of victory. Yo, victory over the clogged vagina on the Christian girl. We want those little Christian girls doing some good hard fucking when they're 16. It's in the Bible.
At my time here on YouTube and truly say, and pardon my French, but to truly say fuck the haters.
Oh, I didn't know this had something to do with a hater. Oh my. Well, anyway, I should put the camera down because he doesn't do anything visual. Well, turn the camera down this way and I'll go make sure the... Sometimes it does this zooming in thing because these flip cameras are really... See, it's kind of funny. I mean, they did some of it so right and they did some of it so fucking wrong. You're saying, who tested this camera? No, you know, what they do, to test it for 5 minutes, 6 seconds? How could they not notice that every time you turn the camera around, you end up touching the goddamn zoom function? Ugh, because there's no buttons. There's just whatever that is, shadow functions. Anyway, so what did he just say? He just said something stupid. Oh, his haters, the haters. So you're proving to the haters by making a long, drawn-out, convoluted argument, basically saying this is my narcissistic panache. So somehow you've defeated your haters by saying, no, I just did another one of those narcissistic panache things. Gee, so I guess you really didn't... You're not winning over a hater that way, I don't think.
You know, like, a guy like Straight Dope can make 10 more videos about what a horrible human...
What are you bringing that up for? Isn't that like 50 years ago? 60, 56 years ago? Is Straight Dope still alive? what are you talking about? You think Straight Dope thinks Fake Sagan is even still in the universe? I think Straight Dope figure you fell into like a bear pit somewhere in Arkansas and have never been heard of since. Hilarious. And there's no, you know, the Straight Dope argument kind of begins and ends with you pointing a gun at your head and saying, give me money or I'll shoot myself. I irony much. Give me money so a big fat fucktard, artistic narcissist like yourself could steal the money from a bunch of fucking internet suckers. Wasn't that the whole plan? And so Straight Dope was entirely correct by your new philosophy to say, Jesus Christ, Fake Sagan's a fucking... He's a frickin' soap boy for this big fat buffoon stealing money from loonies on the internet. You know, little basement dwelling retards. The idiocracy you assholes keep creating because, yeah, you keep thinking you're going to be born on top of the pile of idiocracy. I mean, that's the great balancing, I think. The thing that'll happen is there'll be some kid born in some shithole country who's going to read a few books, 20 years from now, and he's going to have this realization of how the world, is just this evil, disgusting hump of a place, and that'll be Donald Trump. That's Donald Trump getting the shit on his head that he deserves. In the sense there's going to be human beings who are going to realize that this is the legacy. This is what these assholes have given them. Is this ugly, shitty, dirty, smelling planet. This isn't a beautiful blue ball hurling through space. It's a planet covered with lying, conniving, motherfucking cunts. And the harm is going to be real, and real human beings are going to feel it. These lies are not harmless.
Yeah, I am. How just completely irredeemable and reprehensible I am. But he can't take this away from me. He can't change the fact that I did this.
And again, he can't undo the fact that you did a lot of things that a normal human being wouldn't do. Okay, that most people wouldn't do. You cut your own fucking wrist and had to go to the hospital. Okay, I mean, shit. You're just not. You're not the sharpest blade. Yes, you have one in your pocket, but yes, you don't have one in the drawer.
So even if I am a rotten person, I did do one good thing during my time.
You're a retarded person, and that, or else you're a malicious liar. So, take your pick. You're colossally disoriented, there's got to be a word for delusional ignoramus, or you're just a preposterous, lying, manipulative, game-playing motherfucking cunt. But those are the only two categories that are available still. This act does not get you into perfectly rational, devoted to the welfare of the sentient organisms on Earth, perfectly aware of the fact that your life isn't just you, it's consequential, and it has to do with all the things that get affected by your existence.
Time here, and nobody can change that. But
well, again, you can't change that. You're still in only one of two categories that absolutely suck. So whether this stupid ping pong ball of $1,000 gets you in category A or category B doesn't matter. You're either an imbecile or a preposterous, manipulative liar.
Have I scored any points with the man upstairs? No, clearly not. In fact, if anything, I've served my own vanity and.
Right, so you bring up the guy, you bring up the subject, you talk about it like this should be held in some sort of treasure. It should be a treasure to humanity, this idea of Jeebus and God and what a precious game they're playing with us little rodents, and this is just so magnificent and fantastic. And then you explain how you just pissed on it. But I'm just going to pull my dick out and take a piss on it, okay? So, admittedly, I am pissing on it with my narcissism, just narcissisty, which, that's what I call it. Narcissism. That's what you just did. You just whipped it out and pissed on Jesus' head, basically, by admitting, hey, I knew it was all bullshit. Yeah, I knew what I was doing. It had nothing to do with being a good human. It just had to do with I want straight dope to love me because, he is a cute guy. Maybe. He sounds cute. And, I'm hoping he'll hump my butt. What else? You were doing something else here? I don't know. You're somehow, I'm fixating. I don't, you can't rile me. You can't beat me. I was going to fight, whatever he was. Jones or Crazy Pants, Captain Fuckball in a master match. Even with my bad gimpy leg, I was going to beat up that guy who's 7 inches shorter than me. So I'm a man, but I need straight dope to love me. Because he's such an honorable character. Yeah. He's like CNN and Fox News. Had a child, it would be straight dope.
It's kind of the opposite effect of what you're going for. If
Right. Okay. So you just admitted. Okay, it doesn't really have anything to do with being a decent person because I can't do that. Yes, straight dope was right. It's totally beyond the realm of reasonable to expect fake Sagan to just be a decent guy. I can't do it. It's not in my nature. Fuck.
Theological redemption is what's at hand. Now let's talk about secular redemption. Have I redeemed my...
how would you even have something called secular redemption? Is that like when the preacher guy gets caught going to hookers, he cries a little bit, sings a song, and everybody just says, okay, and then he does it again, and they say, okay. They go to prison, and they get out of prison, and the same congregation shows up to say, fleece me some more. Yeah, that evil government and that stupid, whatever it is, taxing stuff. You didn't use my money to buy a $10,000 doghouse. I know you didn't. You saved the poor. That Jesus basically says should exist, and you shouldn't save them anyway. The poor aren't worth saving because you have to have them always. You can't have the poor always if you end up saving them. Don't you understand? It's completely against what Jesus wants.
Myself in the eyes of my peers, is everybody going to think that the fluffy kittenist is a swell guy? Is everybody going to...
I don't know. The fluffy kittenist is such a pooftery dooftery name. I don't know. I guess you're doing some kind of satire, but frankly, I don't think that's really a great plan. Yeah, because people see it in the comments section or something. They're going to say, what the fuck is this cunt bitching about? The people you're talking to. Maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe you want to look like you're one of the feminazis or something, and then you want to pretend to be one, and this kitten thing lets you get away with that crap. But isn't it again just a game you're playing? There's no honesty here. There's no like, even the evildoers, the religious kooks in the Planet of the Apes movie, the mutants, even them, at least they had some sincerity, because in the end they reveal themselves, their true self. I mean, isn't that what being human is? It's just rip it open, okay? Rip open all the fucking alien war gear and just say, look, I'm a feeling thing sitting here, trying to find a way to live a good life. Now, will somebody please make that possible? You give me one fucking honest game to play, because that's all I really want to do, is I roll the dice, I move 5 squares, I do the honest thing. I don't want to cheat, I don't want to fuck anybody, but I don't want to end up in fucking goddamn bear traps with people, dumping dead pigs on my head. I don't want to end up in some kind of shit fucking hell because I just tried not to hurt anybody. Isn't that what's inside of all of us? Just somebody trying to find a way to live a life? Fuck.
Think that I'm a generous person now. Well, even that kind of redemption is kind of... I think even that kind of redemption can only come from the grace of God, too, and you can't do that yourself through good works either.
I still don't understand how good works aren't part of trying to do the right thing and investing in a better world. So I think that's exactly what good works are, is an investment in making it better. That's like the Jesus thing, do unto others as you have others do unto you. So that simple concept, that one frickin' golden rule thing, is the only thing in the Bible that has really any value. If you were to extract one's, of 25 words out of the Bible, those are the words.
Because there's too many possible motivations for what I've done, right?
Right. From a guy who has gone through lots of what would be described as your narcissistic theater, the fake performance art. And so, who's trusting any of this shit? This is fake Sagan's voice. Yeah, he's got a great voice, and he's going to talk about stuff that means something, and it's great billions and billions of fake Sagans flying through. It's all very, yes, it's very engaging just as a mechanical function. Your voice is very, very hypnotic and mind controlling, but you're just talking complete bullshit. I mean, you're just using your tool to do more cartoony, adolescent, circle jerky, I grabbed her by the pussy nonsense. I snuck a feel. You're just sneaking feels here. Oh, I got one over on them.
Could have just done it for a victory and a sense of accomplishment, like I'm saying. I could have done it to get that 99% female audience demographic, because I've just come to the rescue of a girl, right?
I don't think this would be quite enough, because you didn't really come to the rescue of a girl. You came to the rescue of her vagina. So let's see you go give money to a girl with cancer or something, someplace other than the place you want to fuck. Her heart. Let me see you go cure a woman's heart.
Sausage from Ash, the point is, it doesn't matter what you think.
You think Jesus would give you better jump cut power. So I guess he had to cut out his own joke because, whoops, that was a little politically incorrect. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about my motivations, because you'll never know. You'll never know for sure. Only God knows what's in my heart.
And right, the non-existent God. So that doesn't give me any comfort at all that you're afraid of lying through your teeth. Like, I think Donald Trump cares if, oh yeah, well, only God knows if I'm bullshitting. You know, he's the authority, you know. You go to prison if, you know, he finds you guilty. I saw a clip, you know, with Donald Trump where he's asked, "Have you ever asked God for forgiveness?" And it was just hilarious, right? He couldn't even fulfill this one of the simplest tenets of Christianity is the humility thing. He couldn't fulfill one tiny little measure of it. No, he's never asked for forgiveness from God. No, he just makes it right. So, you know, once he's stolen people's money and they're in poverty, then he contrives some kind of evidence that they're child molesters and has them thrown in jail. And then once they're in jail, he gives them cancer and kills them. Fuck. So yeah, he made it right. He shut them the fuck up. Yeah, I had them killed. You know. So what?
You know, redemption. I don't spend too much time worrying about that.
Well, then why did you make a whole fucking video about it? I mean, jeeps. You know, fuck me, but damn. You made 2 videos with the word redemption in them. Why the fuck? What the fuck for? You mentioned my name in one of them. Why the hell did you do that? If it doesn't mean anything.
You're going to have to decide what you think, Sausage from Ash. Am I a good person? Am I a bad person?
He just figures he doesn't know what the fuck you're doing, just as I don't. He's just sitting there saying, Jesus crud cakes. You're just talking all kinds of, you're all over the fucking place. You're just waving your wacky gun all over the goddamn place, and you're not selling on anything that seems like reason. And again, it's only because of some connection to the past where you actually seem to be, both have the nice billions and billions of tranquil Carl Saganites will fall into my magical power. I mean, you had this shtick that was a little bit appealing to people, a little bit irresistible. And so that you have this past connection where, yeah, okay, he was once somebody I considered intelligent and somewhat relevant, and now he's just a wacky stick. And yeah, so I'm still kind of stuck with it though, right? If one of my cats goes completely insane and starts barking like a dog and doing all kinds of wacky shit, and I'm like, well, fuck you. If you're going to be a raccoon, go be a raccoon, you stupid ass cat. I'm not going to feed raccoons. I mean, no, nothing against raccoons, but, you know, they try to eat your house and shit. Yeah, but I'm still going to, like, know he was, hey, that was a cat. It's a raccoon now, but it was a cat. It was the cat I knew. I fed every day. I'm going to still be connected to it. I'm going to try to figure out, is there still a cat in there? Is the cat trapped? Is the raccoon demonically controlling the cat? Is there something I could do? Is there, like, can I give it a bowl of milk and it turns back into a cat? So yeah, maybe this sausage guy is just saying shit. I lament that all the cats in my life have turned into fucking raccoons, and I'm just sitting there saying, what the fuck? What is wrong with all you fuckers? And what's wrong with the concept of intelligence? Intelligent people are talking absolute loony bullshit. What the fuck happened to you people? You know, hypnotized by fucking Alex the Fat Pig Jones. What the fuck is wrong with you kooks?
It really doesn't matter. But understand this. When I speak about divine providence, I'm not talking about redemption for me or redemption for anybody else. And I'm certainly not talking about God making people suffer for my benefit.
Divine providence is making people suffer for my benefit. Well, I think that's a little different. Yeah, I don't even get the whole divine providence thing as a concept. It's just the word providence just doesn't have enough of a definition. So I'm left without counter argument in the sense I don't know what providence means. I don't know whether that's a personal thing or that's like the promised land. I mean, what is divine providence? That somehow the people will be looked after or the person will be looked after? Eh? I mean, that just doesn't seem like there's, well, it doesn't seem like there's any evidence of that at all, right? I mean, the saints certainly weren't divinely providenced. They certainly weren't given any easy road to travel in the acquisition of their greatness. The privileged aren't where the saints come from.
When I talk about divine providence, you've been watching my videos since I was an atheist, so you know that I've always believed, even back when I had a materialist view of the universe and I thought there was nothing metaphysical, I've always believed that every event in our lives is governed by a ruthless sort of causal determinism.
Okay, a ruthless sort of causal determinism. And yes, I agree, but it's not ruthless. That's the whole fucking point. Logic is not ruthless. Logic is not an enemy. Knowledge is power. Even in the Christian religion, so to speak, I mean, that was the whole thing, the tree of knowledge, the knowledge of good and evil. And yes, it carries with it a burden. And God didn't think we were up to the burden. I guess that's what you're saying. You're saying we're not up to the burden of that knowledge. I think we are. I think we're capable of cherishing what we learn, okay, about the world by analyzing it and discovering it. And again, the very fact that we have to have a conversation in the vessel of this stupid fucking religion and not realize that we're the byproduct of this evolution thing, okay, and that the tool of vocabulary creates a whole new platform for evolution. It's a completely different platform. It's meme and logic evolution. It's logic through memes, in a sense, or it's knowledge through memes. And it does percolate into the truth. You tend to do it the right way. We tend to make bridges in the progressive modern way, not in the regressive, dishonest, stupid, fucktarded, primitive way. You do things better, not things worse. You don't go fucking backward. And you're just going backward for a tool of living, rather than understanding that you're a psychology and maybe you need some therapy, for fuck's sake.
Cause and effect. You might refer to it as the butterfly effect, right? Well, I still very much believe that, only now I see the watchmaker, right? I see the hand of God on the mainspring at the center of our clock.
Right, and again, how do you see that? I mean, what piece of evidence? There has to be a reason why you're saying you see this. How do you fucking see the hand of God anywhere in this crap? And again, you think God created Trump, the preposterous liar, to carry his flag into the future? I mean, fuck. Then your God is a psychotic, and so then your theory is, again, you're just arguing in defense of a psychotic God and saying, look, don't you get it? We all should be devoted to the psychopath. Well, no, if you prove God's a psychopath, I mean, if you prove God exists, you've proven he's a psychopath by default, in the sense that the evidence is already in, that if there is a God, he's a psychopath. So you're not winning. It's not a winning argument. The winning argument is we should construct all the military possible and nuke the fucker. We should nuke the fuck out of God. He's a crazy bastard.
Clockwork universe. Okay?
I know, but we're not just telling time, right? So like the clock has evolved into the cell phone, into the information highway, into... it's a lot more than a clockwork. It's an iPhone work. It's multiplying knowledge. It's increasing knowledge. We can know what our liabilities are. We can understand that we're selfish cunts by nature, and that the real game to play here is to always keep aware of the fact that it isn't about just me. It's not about whether I have a broken leg. It's whether broken legs are in the world. That it's about the torment and the torture and the suffering, and that's the thing we've got to get rid of, because we got to create efficient systems that allow us to interact with each other without fucking peeling each other's skins off, or, you know, dunking each other in fucking shark tanks.
When I see the ways in which everything serves his will, the ways in which seemingly random and unrelated events culminate.
All right, I don't know. See, you just say you see it, and there's no way you're going to explain how anybody else can see that. Any rational person can see that. I mean, those arguments have already been made a million times. It's not there. You can say that I can see it in the stars. The Dragon Galaxy always reliably predicts when the apple will fall off the tree. No, it never has predicted it ever in the history of mankind. There's absolutely no evidence that it's ever been anything other than coincidence. No evidence, even with our supercomputers analyzing all the data, we can't find a coincidence that can't be explained as just a matter of probability. That's all it is. Yes, it seems quite bizarre when it happens to you, but the fact is, it's like winning the lottery. You'd be like, holy fuck, I won the lottery. But then if I told you you were entered in 6 million lotteries, you'd say, oh, why didn't I win more than one? You'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I should have won at least once.
To do his will. When I see the ways in which I was a pawn in...
I mean, do you honestly see this? I just don't see. You're saying, when I see it, you're saying you look at the world and you see this, how God is orchestrating all of this wonderful torment and catastrophe and failure. And you see how we go from 1969 into a debaucherous disco era of nihilistic, selfish country. And, yeah, isn't it great how God turned us into complete assholes?
All of this. And I'm not saying that I don't have free will. Of course I do. But God knows how I'm going to use my free will in advance.
Of course I do. I mean, how can the old fake Sagan still be in you anywhere? I mean, you really are a raccoon, right? There's just no way you could logically say these two statements. One minute you say this cold, brutal determinism, and now you say you have some sort of free will. That somehow there's a free in you floating around saying, the free will make me escape the determinism. I will escape the bounds of my psychology and my knowledge. I will have super knowledge when necessary, and I'll be a complete idiot when necessary, like when I'm voting. I can be a complete idiot. I just completely forget that I have any kind of logical function in my brain, and I'll just hit the T, because T's are cool, and H's are ooh, girly.
And he set the pieces on the chessboard in such a way to compensate ahead of time for what I'm going to do.
Okay, now this is an overt lie, right? Even by your own religion, this is an overt lie, because God quite obviously made mistakes. He totally didn't know this shit was going to go all shitty. That's why he flooded the fucking place. Remember that whole fucking story? And he flooded the whole shithole because he said, you people suck. Okay, you're all fucking raccoons, for goddamn sake. I put a bunch of kittens on the planet and you all come back raccoons. What the fuck went wrong? You fuck chimpanzees or something? What the hell did you do, you stupid cunts? And then he killed you all. And saved a little group of assholes who became another preposterous pile of shit.
You know, things like my silly egotism and wanting people to think I'm a swell guy on YouTube. All of that was planned for in advance. And whether my videos are serious...
Okay, so whatever. All of this is planned for in advance, and God knows exactly what the calculations of everybody's suffering, and it all makes sense in the end, and so just don't worry, be happy. Do, 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 do. I have to do it in the Sagan voice, right? Okay, now, where's my Sagan voice? Billions and billions. See, I just have to go billions and billions. Don't worry. There's billions and billions of happiness possible. Yeah. Oh, fuck that.
And I really believe the things that I say, or whether I'm just trolling everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It does fucking matter. And that's that whole evolution thing. It's the whole, how the fuck does the world become a better place is because of people truly redeemed. Because of people who truly understand there's a lot at stake here. Okay, it does make a difference. One little butterfly flapping its wings can mean the difference between 1 million people suffering and 1 million people, eating cupcakes. And that's just the fucking truth. It can pull nails out of the future's eye. It's that fucking real. And this lying fucking game playing is just such a pile of suck. Am I telling the truth? Ooh, can you tell? Ooh. Do you have special 3D glasses to see the real Frank Sagan? Ooh. So he's showing a picture of dominoes now, doing the determinism thing. He just said how he has free will, though. So where's the free will in that little domino spiral? How exactly does that domino spiral make a free?
Doesn't matter. Because maybe the 10 years that I've been here really had nothing to do with me at all. Maybe it was all about Stephanie and her getting what she needed.
Oh, now, so he says this is this, and now he's turned it into my entire life was for this moment, okay, where I make this decisive contribution to the let's do it now. And if she dies, right, so there's the irony, right, if she dies in the surgery because they did it now instead of later or some other time, right, it's all a kind of a crapshoot, right, the odds. And so if she dies horribly and then Jesus is creepy because he can't fuck his daughter, he starts crying on his way home from the hospital and drives into a family of 4 and kills them all. And then the fireman who witnesses that gets so fucking depressed he beats his wife and goes to prison for 50 years. I mean, I could come up with a whole cascade of horror and doom that's all financed by your fucking $1,000. This isn't even a guarantee that you actually did something productive. What we're really talking about was what your intent was, right? So that's all there is here, is an intent. Do I wish the world better? Okay, great. I'm glad that you wished somebody less pain. That's a really good thing, right? Wanting somebody to have less pain is good. Whether or not this is the vehicle is another subject altogether. And for you to presumptively say ahead of time that God knows this is what the right thing to do was. God says it was good. Well, I don't think so.
And maybe, in all my silly vanity, I was just a pawn in God's plan the whole time.
I mean, it's just too convenient, right? You're right. That's just too convenient. So then I could just make that excuse. I could say, look, I got this neighbor, little hot chick. I'm going to rape her, okay? And I'll just come up with a story, okay, how it's going to be so good for her, actually. She's first, the rape ain't going to be so bad. I'm not going to break her jaw or anything. I'm just going to have a good time. And it's going to completely change her future relationships, right? And it's going to make her so much more of a humble bitch. And I can come up with a whole scenario and say, see, it was good. It was a good thing I did. I mean, that's all you're doing here. You're just rationalizing. You can rationalize anything with this fucking, it's all for the best bullshit. You can turn every fucking thing that ever goddamn happens into it's all to the best because I made up a story related to it. I mean, that's just such crap. You don't redeem a life this way, retard.
Well, now you could say to me that my mind is finding meaning in happenstance, and I could counter that your mind is looking for happenstance where there is meaning.
Well, again, you're showing dominoes. You're saying it's a deterministic world, so this whole happenstancey thing is sort of out of the picture, but regardless, the argument I'm going to make is is that a better future is going to be made by adherence to rules, like architecture. You're not going to land on the moon unless you do the honest science. You're not going to do it by, rubbing magic sticks together. You're not going to do it by finding a leprechaun blueprint to moon landings. You're not going to do it in all these wacky ways. You're going to do it in some kind of sensible, rule-guided way. The truth needs to be served, and it's not going to be served by a 2,000-year-old lie, for fuck's sake. And for you to be selling that, and again, you're selling it in this very, hey, I might not be telling the truth. It's okay with you. I'll swear to God that I'm telling the truth because I don't believe in God, so it's really easy for me to lie. I mean, I don't have enough, it's not like I have any faith that a God would punish me for lying. But I wouldn't even want to lie about something that was held as sacred to somebody. That seems petty even to do that. I mean, I wouldn't, well, I guess I might do something, against like a witch's power or something. I mean, I might mock that, but I'm just saying it, you're mocking. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just kind of disgusting to take any notion in people's heads and be this gratuitously abusive of it. Not make an honest critique, but to manipulate it and use it against people.
And neither one of us will ever be able to say for sure. But for me, there is no greater evidence of God's glory.
Okay, here we go. Now we're going to get to the evidence part. Great.
Than when I get these brief glimpses, which I'm sure are inspired by the Holy Spirit, and they're not through any merit of my own. When I get these brief glimpses.
This is like Son of Sam talking to his dogs. I mean, this is just so silly. I'm sorry that you're having all these psychological issues, and I'm sorry that you can't get some kind of help with that in the sense of recognizing delusional thinking. But this is delusional thinking. You've so embiggened your importance that now you have to create a God to justify the size of the podium you're standing on. Why do they all look like ants? Well, it must be because God has made me see them for what they are. Or something like that.
Of how, even when I sin, even when I fail, even in my folly, everything I do serves His will.
Okay, so that's your claim. Everything you do serves His will. So my love of my gun and my bullets that shatter the gray matter of the brains of the other spirits and blow holes in their God-made hearts and all of that crap. Yeah, that's all for the service of God. I'm sure it is.
I'm not sure if you can understand what I'm talking about.
No, I
maybe
just
you
can't.
Get it, maybe you don't.
No, yeah, there's no way. There's nothing to get. It's just more rambly-pambly bullshit. I mean, people need to keep grabbing onto something that looks like religion. Okay, so that's all you're confirming. That apparently, unlike the rest of the human race, I never could find any comfort in the idea of a God. As soon as somebody told me there was a God, and I said, oh, cool. And then they told me what He did, like, His will be done, and that means you might have 3 legs tomorrow. I mean, 2 legs. I mean, 1 leg. Or you might have cancer, or you might get hit by a bus. That's His will. All kinds of shit might happen to you. Horrible shit. Horrible, 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 horrible shit. You'll take a shit tomorrow and there'll be worms in it. That's what God will do for you. All of these wonderful, fantastic things. Yeah, once I found out that's the story, oh yeah, well, I'm sorry. I can't find any comfort in some lunatic who creates me to squirm, struggle, puke, and die. Yeah, and then go to the pearly gates and rub rubies for eternity, because apparently there's nothing else to do. I just look at the sparkly rubies all around the cloud of heaven, and I just admire how pretty it is, forever and ever and ever. That's what I do with my 100 billion neuron brain. It shoots off into the the vacuous retardatum, the retardasylum, and just starts drooling while it looks at glitter. Wow, I'm just so fucking horny for that reality.
Anyway, the bottom line is this. Is the fluffy kittenist a bad guy? Is the fluffy kittenist a good guy?
No.
Am I altruistic?
Are you a liar or are you a psychotic? That's all there is. Is the fluffy kittenist a psychotic, lunatic, delusional kook? Or is he a lying, manipulative, calculating cunt? That's it. Nothing else in this equation.
Am I selfish? Do I believe the things that I say, or am I just trolling? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
What matters is Stephanie.
No, it does matter. And what matters is not Stephanie. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mean anything against her, but a lot more is at stake than fucking Stephanie, okay? So you can pile Stephanie's vagina on top of your mountain of bullshit. But your mountain of bullshit is a lot more fucking caustic. It'll cause a lot more cancer than fucking Stephanie's little fucking vagina problem. So you can't pile Stephanie's vagina on top of all of the evil that is the bullshit you're talking. All of the crap. The fucking gun you own, okay, has done more harm in principle. The percentage of harm tied to your weapon, the harm done on earth, the anti-Jesus intents that have been fulfilled with that weapon alone can't be compensated for by this one straightening of a vagina. And frankly, the vagina would get straightened without your fucking money. They're just saying, hey, we don't want to reduce our lifestyle, okay? I mean, the chick also needs some hot clothes to seduce a man with, too, so we have to spend money on that. And we have all kinds of other shit. We got iPhones and all this other crap to buy. So we really can't compromise our life too much to buy her a new vagina. So get serious. Fail. Alright, so that was fun. Kind of. It's like old times.
Well,
no, it's not really like old times. Well, it's a little bit like old times in the sense that I'm arguing with a religious kook and fake Sagans in the world somewhere. So I guess that's it, sort of like old times in that sense. But yes, it doesn't really have anything to do with really old times. But again, it's just a piece of my own nostalgia. That's the only reason why I go back to some, crazy fucks. I mean, there's no point in arguing with the crazy, right? You can't convince crazy. And, there's no, I mean, I can come up with scenarios, but there's just like, the only thing that's going to impress fake Sagan is that I somehow have to do something, I have to perform a magic trick, because that's the kind of stuff that impresses him. So I have to perform some kind of trick, where I make a circumstance happen that's just too coincidental. Like I say a word right now, and that word pops up in his daily stuff today. Like today he trips on a rock, and there's an image of Buster Keaton, okay, under the rock, and I just said